Yo, what's up? This is Valoramous. In today's DJ tutorial, I'm going to show you how and when to use the three main equalizer knobs on the DJ1000 or actually any mixing system. In most mixing systems, you have three equalizer knobs. You have a low, a mid, and a high. This is where training your ears becomes important, because if you do not adequately train your ears as a DJ to recognize the full frequency spectrum, you will not know when to use these knobs. But in general, when you're making a transition between two songs, the rule of thumb is to eliminate the bass on the incoming song and then do a bass swap maybe halfway to 3/4 of the way through that transition. But there are times when you will need to cut or boost the mid and high frequencies, and again, this is where training your ears is so critical. So there is one website that I recommend as a DJ that you could use to train your ears, and that is soundgym.com. There are exercises on this website. You can train your ears to improve your recognition of the frequency spectrum, improve volume leveling, which you'll have to use as a DJ as well with the trim knob and also with the volume faders on the mixing board. But equalization and also gain or volume automation or leveling are the two skills that you must master as a DJ when you're connecting mixing on the mixing section itself. So in general, when you will cut the low frequencies on a track is going to be if that track sounds muddy in reference to the overall mix. So if the mix sounds muddy, like there's too much low end, it could be because you have both of the low frequencies, the 12 o'clock or full 100% position. Or perhaps maybe the producer, the mastering engineer of that track, and these producers, they're not perfect, maybe they had too much bass, which in that case, it is your job as the DJ to correct the mix. So if the mix sounds muddy, you will have to reduce the low frequencies. Now, when to use the middle frequencies? Now, there could be clashes of maybe synthesizer elements and vocals. You may have to cut the mid frequencies, especially if it sounds like maybe it's a bit too brittle. You may have to cut those mid frequencies. Usually the brittleness comes in that 1K to 5K or kilohertz range. You may have to reduce the mid frequencies on that section. You may have to increase the mid frequencies if, for example, the vocals do not sound loud enough to mix. So the vocals genuinely reside in those mid frequencies. You may need to boost the mid frequencies in order to let the vocals shine in the overall mix. And then with the high end, if the mix sounds too airy, you may have to cut the high frequencies. If the mix sounds too harsh to the ears, excruciatingly painful to the ears, it's usually a sign that you need to cut the high frequencies. If the mix sounds overall too muddy, or maybe like there's too much oomph and thud to it, that could be a sign that maybe you need to add some air to the track, you need to add some upper frequencies. So again, I would recommend you use the website SoundGym, and this will train your ears to recognize the overall frequency spectrum from 20 hertz on the low end to 20,000 hertz on the high end, and then you will know exactly what to do with these equalization knobs. But in general, the knobs to master would be the low frequencies, because when you connect that low frequency bass swap transition, it is usually just a one-for-one swap of the two bass lines. But there are some times when you need to use the mid and high frequency knobs, and in this case, knowing a balanced mix will guide you as the DJ to use these knobs. So there you have it. That is a quick explanation of how and when to use the three equalizer knobs on the DJ1000 controller or any system, because this is a universal principle. So if you'd like this content, like to see more, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you.
We're about to leave this place.